What really happened when Jungkook and Jimin finally arrived in Dubai? Many of the army thought that the moment would pass as usual, a short smile, a light greeting, and then they walked together. But no one was really prepared for what happened seconds after they came down and stared at each other. A small moment, almost unspoken, instead turns into an emotional shock that makes the timeline suddenly silent, then explode. It all started with the way Jungkook approached Jimin. No rush, no noise, just too quiet, as if he had planned something. Jungkook's usually relaxed gaze this time looked different, deeper, more serious. And just as Jimin lifted his face, Jungkook did something the army never predicted. Not a big action, not an exaggerated gesture, but rather a simple thing that feels too personal to do in a public place. Jimin's reaction took center stage. Her smile stopped in the middle of the road. His eyes widened for a moment, then lowered his head, as if trying to hold back something. Some seconds feel so long. Jimin did not immediately laugh, nor did he speak. There was a pause of silence that made anyone who saw it hold their breath. And that's where ARMY began to realize, this is not an ordinary moment. Speculation has also sprung up. Did Jungkook say something that only Jimin could hear? Was there an emotional message that was finally revealed in Dubai? Or is it a form of silent attention that has never been seen on camera? Many soldiers feel goosebumps not because of what is obvious, but because of what feels implied. What made this moment even more jarring was the change in Jimin's expression afterwards. He smiled again, but not as happy as usual. Softer, quieter, and for some reason a little heavy. Jungkook himself looked relieved, as if his reaction was as expected. The two then walk side by side, but the atmosphere between them feels different. Quieter, more intimate and meaningful. It didn't take long for pieces of this moment to spread and trigger emotional reactions from the army around the world. Many admitted that they were not ready to see Jungkook's side so subtle but hit the feelings, and Jimin, who was so honest, displayed his reaction. Dubai, which is usually synonymous with sudden glitter, witnesses a small surprise that has a big impact. The question keeps spinning, especially since this isn't the first time Jungkook has shown an unexpected side while with Jimin. But something was different this time. In Dubai, the atmosphere feels more serious, as if the moment is not just an ordinary interaction, but a fragment of emotion that finally leaks to the surface. Many army felt what happened was not to be exhibited, but accidentally caught the public eye. Some observant fans began to associate this moment with previous events. Jungkook's restrained gaze, small gestures that are often missed, to Jimin's way of reacting that often changes when he is around him. All those details now feel like puzzle pieces that are slowly coming together. It's as if Dubai becomes the point where something long kept finally appears, even if only at first glance. What made ARMY even more goosebumps was how the two kept their attitude after the moment happened. No explanation, no clarification. It is precisely the silence that feels the loudest. Jungkook kept walking with a calm expression, while Jimin was seen taking a few deep breaths, as if trying to stabilize his feelings. The camera may keep recording, but the emotions between them feel too real to ignore. On social media, ARMY's reaction was divided between surprised, moved, and full of curiosity. Many admitted that they rewatched the moment many times, trying to catch the slightest detail, the movement of the hands, the direction of the gaze, even the time lag before Jimin smiled again. Everything feels important, as if every second holds a hidden message. To this day, Jungkook and Jimin remain silent. But it is precisely from silence that speculation is growing. Is Dubai just the beginning of another series of emotional moments? Or is it a sign that their relationship is entering a different, deeper, and more honest phase than before? The army may not have the answer now, but one thing is certain. This unexpected moment in Dubai has left a mark that is hard to forget. Even after that day had passed, the aura of the moment was still felt. Each subsequent appearance of Jungkook and Jimin seemed to be read with different glasses by the army. Little things that used to be considered normal now feel full of meaning. The way Jungkook turned his head, the way Jimin smiled faintly, to the distance between them, it all felt as if they were saving the continuation of an unspoken story. There was also the army, who felt that the moment in Dubai was like an emotional pause. It was as if time stopped for a moment, making room for a feeling that is rarely seen in front of the public. Not dramatic, not exaggerated, that's exactly what makes it so striking. Jimin's silence, brief gaze, and spontaneous reaction felt much more honest than 1,000 words. Some fans called it an inexplicable moment of goosebumps. There was no clear context, no official explanation, but the emotion was real. And maybe that's where the power is. Jungkook didn't do anything big with the naked eye, but the impact was far-reaching. A simple gesture that opened up space for many feelings, both for Jimin and for the watching army. Dubai is not just a destination. For many soldiers, the place became a symbol of an emotional shock that came without warning. A moment that reminds that behind the stage, the busy schedule, and the camera's glare, there is such a deep and fragile human relationship. And as long as Jungkook and Jimin still choose not to explain anything, that moment will live on in fans' minds as an unfinished piece of the story, but precisely because it feels so powerful. A little surprise that proves that sometimes the simplest things can leave the most vibrations. As time went on, the moment actually felt stronger, not fade. The army begins to realize that what gives them chills is not just Jungkook's actions or Jimin's reaction, but the feeling that they have just witnessed something very personal, something that should have happened in a private room, but was accidentally exposed to the world. There is a thin boundary that is crossed, and everyone can feel it.